kick-ass. What's it about?
It's about a boy. It's based on a graphic novel. It's about a boy named Dave, and he's so enthralled and inspired by superheroes that he goes and he buys a little wetsuit and he tries to be one.
Oh, man.
And he named himself Kick-Ass, like Spider-Man. And he has a superpower, so it's kind of like a wannabe.
Okay, now, and what do you play in all this?
I play Hit Girl. Well, Minnie McCready and my father, Damon, Nicolas Cage, and our opposite personalities, Hit Girl and Big Daddy.
Now, this is based on a comic strip, you said, a graphic novel.
novel.
What, had you read it before? Did you know anything about the characters?
I hadn't read it, but when I booked the movie, I read a couple of the comics, and just to research more of who Hit Girl is besides just the script.
Now, do you generally like superhero movies?
I do. I love action movies in general, even though I'm not allowed to watch R-rated ones. So.
What are your favorites?
I love Spider-Man and like The Dark Knight and James Bond. Even though he's just a spy. He's not even like a superhero.
That's true. He just has gadgets, though.
Exactly, which is kind of how Hit Girl and Big Daddy are.
Oh, so they don't really have superpowers either.
We have no superpowers. It's all gadgets. Really cool gadgets.
So now you said you like Spider-Man. Now,
I do.
Tobey Maguire is not going to be Spider-Man anymore. What do you think about that?
He did an amazing job of when he did it.
How would you like to see the story change?
I don't know. Wherever it goes, I know I'll love it.
Okay, great. So this is an action adventure. It's pretty rough stuff. Some of the language is kind of rough. How did you handle that?
Well, it's a movie. It's not real life. Obviously, if I ever said any of that stuff that I say in the movie, I would be grounded for probably 50 years.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Maybe 100.
And what about your parents? I mean, they must have read the script. How did they feel about you doing this?
My mom reads every script before I even go out for it. And, my whole family is behind me 100%. Just like we're all dedicated to what we do.
And what do you look for in a script that you want to play, a character you want to play?
I look for something challenging, something that will stretch my acting ability, something that I've never done before, totally different than me, like Hit Girl.
And so you did a bunch of preparation. What kind of training did you have to do to get?
I did about 2 months of training before the movie started, and all throughout the movie also I did training. And so I did combat training and conditioning and flexibility and dance, and just to get me, more just ready for the film.
Your co-star is Nicolas Cage. He's a pretty intense guy. What was it like to be on the set with Nicolas?
It was amazing. He's the nicest guy ever. He's like a second dad to me. But
and what did he teach you? What did you get out of that experience?
Well, actually, the very first day, the first day is when you are supposed to bond with who you're working with, and it was a good bonding point because we were working in a sewer.
You mean a sewer on a set?
No, a real working sewer since the 1800s.
Yuck.
Yeah.
And where was this?
This was in London. Well, right outside of London.
So you shot this scene in the muck and the...
Yes, and it was like 32 degrees, and we were freezing, and it was like, there was like nasty stuff on the ground of it, and ugh.
Wow, that doesn't sound terribly glamorous.
It was so glamorous. The beauty of it.
But you were in London. That must have been great. Any great experiences being in London?
I went to Harrods for the first time. That was amazing. I actually have a Harrods bunny that I sleep with every single night, and his name is Henry VIII.
Oh. Okay. So this movie, this is going to be a big coming out for you. Do you get recognized for parts that you've done so far?
Not really, and I kind of like that because I don't do acting for the fame or anything. I do it because I love it, and it's what I want to do for the rest of my life.
Now you are just barely 13. How do you know that you want to do this for the rest of your life?
Well, I love it, and it makes me happy when I do it, and I see someone who loves the movies I do. It makes me even happier.
Is there any actress out there that you see their career and say, oh, that's the path I'd like to go?
Natalie Portman, for sure. She's my number one.
Number one choice. So Star Wars was good. Do you look for a Star Wars part?
I wouldn't mind doing one. It'd be
Mhm.
fun.
That would be great. So terrific. Well, you have other movies coming out as well.
Mhm.
What else? What else can we look for?
I had Diary of a Wimpy Kid coming out March 19th.
Uh-huh.
Then, of course, Kick-Ass April 16th. And then Let Me In October 1st.
And Let Me In is a vampire movie.
It is.
So are you a vampire fan? It's kind of, they sort of aim for your age group when they make these movies.
I am. I like vampire films. My favorite is Interview with the Vampire.
Are you a fan of the Twilight series?
They're good movies.
You like them?
Yeah.
Great. All right. Well, we'll look forward to seeing you in that one later in the year.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Nice meeting you.
Okay. I have one